What's up, guys? You can see I'm not in the office right now, but I bet you this is gonna be one of the best videos yet. Today, we're gonna be talking about the 3 magic words I use in sales. This is my 3 favorite words, the 3 best words ever that you can use in sales. And let me preface this, guys. My name is Gino Palumbo. I'm 22. Actually, I just lied to you, 23. I just turned it a couple weeks ago. I'm 23 real estate investor here in Atlanta, Georgia. I have about 24, or I do have 24 rental units. Our company this year, our goal in wholesaling real estate is to be at 7 million. And we strongly believe we can do it in 7 million in gross profits or revenue this year in real estate wholesaling. So let's get into the vid. What are those 3 magic words? Those 3 words are what would happen next. It's 4 words. 4 words. What would happen next? Forget the 3 words. 4 words. What would happen next? How do we use those words? That's funny. It's 3 words. But so how would we use the 4 words, and where do they come up? When you're going for a close for a seller, right? We all know as salesmen, when we're going for closing a deal, and we know by when we also try to get sold from people like the car dealership or other places, right? What do we know? We know that the seller, in this case, is gonna have their hands up. And they're definitely gonna have it up if we haven't built good rapport or hit motivation like I've talked about in other videos. They're gonna have their hands up. They don't wanna be told, or sold, right? They don't wanna be like, came in and caved into a salesman. So when you're talking to them and you're telling the seller, and when it's a time for you to say something like, hey, Mr. Seller, are you ready to sell today or sign today if we give you your price? When you get to a period and when that conversation should come up, this is when you use those words. So never, ever, ever, I never want to hear or see any of you guys, have these in your script or hear you guys say this to a seller again. I never want to hear you guys say, are you ready to sign today? Or if I get this completed, would you be able to sign? I never want you to say that, right? You go, what the heck, what else would I say? Well, here's what you would say. So if I get a seller that, I want to make sure that they're ready to move forward today, just as if you were just to blatantly say, would you sign today? I would say this instead. Mr. Seller, let's just say everything looks good on this agreement, or let's say, Mr. Seller, you agree on all the, the price we give you and the terms we give you. What would happen next? What would happen next? You would sign over the agreement and I would sign it. Oh, okay, perfect. So I was just confirming if we did, accept, or you did it like our terms and our offer. You just said to me that you would go over and sign it. Yeah, that's what I said. Right there, they just close themselves. Again, this is a term I got from Steve Trang, right? When they go ahead and tell you what they're gonna do, they're closing themselves. I can't explain how important that is. That seller just closed himself. You asked them what would happen next if you like this offer and the terms, I would sign it. So, okay, you would sign it, perfect. He just told you what he was going to do. You didn't ask him to sign it. He told himself. What does that make him feel? Well, first, if he's telling himself, he doesn't feel like you're closing him. His guard's not up. He's not afraid that you're trying to close him, right? Because he just closed himself. He just told himself that I would sign it. We didn't make him say that. We didn't make him say, yes, he will sign the contract, If we didn't, it wasn't after we told him, would you sign today? He said yes. No. He literally told himself he would sign it. He just post-closed himself. He just closed himself. And I can't explain how important that is, right? Because we all know, we've had sellers where they've told us, yes, they would be able to, move forward today. And then guess what happens? They get a little jittery, they get a little nervous without even telling us, they don't really tell us this, but then they tell us, I can't do it today. Okay, well, I thought you told me, yeah, but I just don't want to. Well, it's because you didn't make them feel comfortable. They didn't have a comfortable closing process. And for them telling themselves that they would sign today, now we can use that as leverage, right? Because what's gonna happen? Let's say they still try to pull that move on us, right? They told us what would happen. We asked them what would happen next. They said, I would sign today. Perfect, you move on. Let's say later down the call that you give them the offer, they say they like it, and then you tell them we gotta go over an agreement, and they tell you, oh, I can't do that for a couple other days. Well, I'm confused, Mr. Seller. One reason I'm confused is because in our script, we ask them in the beginning, are you going to be able to go over the agreement? Let's say they said yes. Okay, I'm confused. I know you said you could go over the agreement, and you told me, earlier in this call that, that you told me, I'm going to ask you what would happen next if everything looked good. You told me that you would, move forward and sign the agreement. Am I wrong? No, I did say that. Oh, okay, so there must have been something wrong with this agreement, because if you said that if everything looked good and you liked the price, then you would move. You told me you would sign today, so there must be something wrong with the agreement. And he'll correct you, and I guarantee you in that example he's gonna say, no, it was the price. Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense, because my example or my question to you was if the price was right and the terms were right, you would move forward. And you said, yeah, or what would happen next? And you said I would sign. And now, okay, I get it. So it's the price. can you tell me more about that? Yeah, it's just too low, right? So what you can see here is now we can use that statement that we made in the beginning as a leverage, right? And what they responded to it as leverage, right? Because he told us that he would sign. So now when he goes through this whole agreement, we can use that as leverage when he tries to back out at the end. Okay, I'm just confused. It has to be one or two of these things. I mean, one or the other thing, or maybe even both, but was it the price? Like, what's stopping you? I mean, I know you said you liked the price, but now when it's time to go over an agreement, it's probably the price. No, it's not the price. Okay, well then it has to be the terms on this agreement. Yeah, it was. Or maybe he even denies that, but guess what's gonna happen? After 2 times labeling objections and saying, hey, it was either price or the terms, he's gonna tell you the truth. They're gonna get annoyed, or they're gonna be like, all right, let me just tell him what I truly feel. I can't do it, Gino, because I have a silent partner in this deal, right? And so the truth will come out. Again, the whole premise, the whole point of this is it all started with us being able to leverage in what he answered to our statement in the beginning of what would happen next. Now, again, you can use that not only for price, right? And hey, the terms and the price, not only for terms and price, you can use that anywhere in your conversation. Like for example, what if he said he had to go talk to his wife? Okay, now let's say you talk to your wife and she loves it. Everything is good. What would happen next? I would sign the contract. So guess what happens? Again, he told you he would sign the contract. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to probably repeat it because he already told me once and went against that. I would say, okay, so again, I just want to make it clear. I'm sorry I'm sounding annoying. I just want to put this clear so I can go back to my boss. Let's say, again, Mr. Seller, the terms look right, the price looks right, and you talk to your wife, that hidden decision maker. Now, what would happen next again? Or you could even rephrase this into what would next steps be, but I want you guys to focus on what would happen next. And you said, I told you I would sign it. Perfect. So guess what happens, guys, when you call him back and he told you he's talked to his wife? Well, now, again, he's told you, repeated to you twice, he's told you that after he talks to his wife, if everything looked good, he would sign the agreement. He told you, you didn't make him say that. Right? Again, Postclosed himself, and you'll see that you usually never even have to repeat yourself twice. In that instance, I gave you guys the example where I said, at the end of the call, he couldn't give us a yes because he had a hidden decision maker. You usually never even get that because they've already closed themselves enough when you've asked them what would happen next in the beginning. So again, guys, use this whenever possible when you need to get something out of the seller without you having to actually be demanding or ask. Again, we no longer, guys, to summarize this video, we no longer want to ask the seller, will you be able to sign today? Or would you sign this if I get this approved? We never want to do that. Instead, we can just replace that, right? Instead of would you sign today, say everything looks good today on the agreement and the terms, what would happen next? Let him tell you he would sign, let him close himself, let him believe that he closed himself, not that you closed him. I wanted to do it. So later when he signs the contract, he doesn't go back to his wife that says, oh, you sure you wanted to do that? Yeah, I told him I wanted to do it. He didn't make me do it. I told him I wanted to. Those things matter. That prevents the seller from getting buyer or seller's remorse. Those things matter. You know how many deals that you can save doing that? And second thing is, remember, like I said, instead of telling him not only would you sign today, but are you ready to move forward or anything else, right? When you use that, what would happen next? Again, last time, it will help ease the close and allow the seller to believe that they closed themselves. So that's it. I don't want to keep going back in a circle here. If you guys got value from this video, please leave a comment down below. If you guys want to see something else, any other things, topics you want me to hit on, please leave them down below. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.